Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Often parents like us are feeling somewhat isolated, and we really appreciate the opportunity to share our stories and come together with you. I am a parent to 5 children. I live in Anne Arundel County. My son, Evan, has autism. He's very high functioning, but he has various other related disabilities that impact his educational program. You have my written testimony, so I'm not going to go into all the details. There's a really handy Excel spreadsheet you can look through and see over the years the kinds of services and supports that he was getting, the grade levels, the educational impact, the situation that required him to have those services. And, from pre-K, luckily he was diagnosed really early, so we had him in a pre-K program right away. He had an IP at age 4. He and his triplet siblings were lucky enough to get into a really great elementary school where the administration and the special educators were very student-focused, very much into valuing parent input, and suddenly that changed last year, unfortunately. While we were out of town, our son lost all of his services without our participation and consent. The good news is we were able to reestablish his eligibility. The bad news is that it took us $30,000 to do that. And that's just in the last, I would say, since September. And we're still fighting. At the present time, he's on home hospital instruction. Since last year, he hasn't been able to get on the bus and attend on a regular basis because he still has lots of very individualized, unique, complex, listening to the testimony earlier about the lack of training with high-functioning autism kids, it really hits home for us. So in closing, the opponents of this bill make clear that the school-based team professionals are the experts, right? I mean, we hear that all the time, and they should therefore maintain full decision of the decision-making authority. As a dedicated teacher scholar at University of Maryland, I find this attitude very obstructive and toxic and in direct conflict with the IDEA mandate, which has already clearly established parents as equal members of the IEP team. Thank you for considering this bill, which not only addresses the grotesque disproportionate power dynamics by ensuring parents like us have accessible safeguards, right? Accessible, not $50,000 to go to due process or $5,000 to file in a complaint or a couple $1,000s to file OCR. We need accessible safeguards that protect our position in the decision-making process, but recognizes us as critical contributors whose children are the priority stakeholders. They have the most to lose in this IEP process. Thank you very much for your time.